Hey YouTube, Dutch Sense here. It is 6:46 p.m. Central Standard Time on April 17th, 2011, Sunday. And what we're looking at here is the Norsk Institute, the NILU, and I've been bringing you all these radiation forecasts from the NILU and from the URAD agency. And yesterday, over a series of strange events, I was actually able to come into contact with the actual scientist who makes these forecasts, one of them, their back-end data from this server, from the NILU.no. And there's conflicting data. There are conflicting forecasts, in other words. So what I'm going to show you here is the forecast for xenon that's currently shown on NILU. And this is, look at the dates in the upper right-hand corner. So we're looking at 4/21, and I'll start it over again here. And what we're seeing here are pretty high levels of xenon gas. And they've been forecasting the Xenon-133 for a while, and of course, being the curious person I am, I wanted to find out more about xenon. So what I did was I went over to Wikipedia, of course, and that's the first place you're going to go. If you type it in, that's the first thing that comes up. And it tells all about xenon and the different forms, and you can go read all about the isotopes and their half-lives. But as I'm reading, okay, you get past all this, the first couple sentences, and it says Xenon-133, and this is the one that we're concerned with right here for all these forecasts. Here, Xenon-133 at the top of this forecast here. And I'll just read it to you. Xenon-133, Xenon-135, Xenon-131 are some of the fission products of both uranium, U, and plutonium, Pu, and are therefore used as indicators of nuclear explosions. And now let's just click on nuclear explosions here and read the definition of a nuclear explosion. A nuclear explosion occurs as the result of rapid release of energy from an intentionally high-speed nuclear reaction. The driving reaction may be nuclear fission, nuclear fusion, or a multi-stage cascading combination of the two. Though to date, all fusion-based weapons have been used in fission devices to initiate fusion. And a pure fusion weapon remains a hypothetical device. Atmospheric nuclear explosions are associated with mushroom clouds, although mushroom clouds can occur with large chemical explosions, and it is possible to have an airburst nuclear explosion without these clouds. Nuclear explosions produce radiation and radioactive debris. So in other words, xenon is produced from fission that occurs from plutonium and uranium as a result of a nuclear explosion. All right, and then it goes on and it says xenon's also in meteorites. And it gives you the half-life of it. Let me go find it here. And the half-life on Xenon-133 is 5 days, 5.24 days. So let's go back over to the Norsk Institute here. And you can see it's taking off from Japan, and by the time it reaches the eastern United States and going across the Pacific, it's dissipating within its 5-day time. But that means that it's falling on us, the United States and Canada, and if you look at Alaska, Alaska is getting it over and over again. It's getting full-on mid-levels. So that says two things. One, there was a nuclear explosion, because Xenon-133 would not exist without a nuclear explosion. Secondly, it means that if you're going to get precipitation on you in Canada or the United States, you need to wash immediately. And the people in Europe aren't going to have to worry too much about xenon, because the xenon is dissipating as it goes across the United States. So let's look at Cesium-137. And this is the forecast that's in contention. We found another forecast that shows something entirely different. But I want to show this to you first, and then we'll go look at the other one. And sorry, I just want these to load up and be fully current in case they do an update or anything like that. I want to make sure that I've got the proper most recent map up here. Okay, here you go. So Cesium-137, again, coming hard over Alaska, down over Canada, and then they have it dissipate out. And most of it is most likely falling to the ground in the form of precipitation. And there you have it. Okay, now let me just pause this really quick and I'm going to go pull up the alternate forecast that we found. Okay, here we are on the back end of nilu.no, and these are the alternate forecasts that we found. Now look at the date, April 17th, 2011, last modified, so we're looking just at today. And now watch, Cesium-137. Now you're going to notice a difference, and I'm going to compare them side by side here in a minute, but I first want you to see this. Pay attention to the color key in the right-hand side. Cesium-137, total column. And look at the dates. I mean, we're talking a large amount of Cesium-137 coming over 323, 324, and then it cuts off. This is the alternate forecast. This is the one that's hidden on the back end in Dr. What's-His-Name's files. There you go. All right, so that's the private forecast, and it's up here on squid.nilu.no. I'll put the link down below. But let's go back over and look at the Cesium-137 total column release. Whoop. Now keep in mind, these are two different dates. The one on the right cuts off, but it clearly shows much, much higher levels. As a matter of fact, let me go back and pull the forecast from the actual date so we're not comparing apples and oranges here. Just one second, let me pause this up one more time. Okay guys, what I did is I pulled my video from March 26, 2011 with the radiation update and forecast so I could show you these actual comparison and models and show you the big time difference in amounts of Cesium-137 with a half-life of almost 30 years. Okay, and let me just make this full screen. And go ahead and hit play. Okay, so you can see, look at the date up here, 2011, 3/24 at 2100 hours, okay? And look at the amounts that it shows, total column. All right, looks pretty low. Now I want to bring you over here to the good doctor, and let me just, of course I lost that, let me get that back here. Here it is. So let me just bring you over and press play and show them side by side. Okay. So we're going to get it up here to 324 at 2100 hours, and we're going to compare the two, okay? This is very disturbing for me, guys. This is not good. There we go. So the forecast here on the right is stashed away in doctors' private files on the back end of the server, And this is the public forecast, which shows nothing. Very, very little. So this is what everybody sees when they come on to look at the forecast. This is what doctors seeing, or meteorologists are seeing at the forecasting service. Two entirely different things. One means huge amounts of cesium as of 324, 325, and the other says none. So when I bring you these forecasts, we're going to have to take them at exactly what they are, which are forecasts, which means that you must prepare for the eventual worst. And if the better happens, then you're just that much more prepared and you're not out anything. However, if you assume that everything's okay and you come to find out that the forecast on the right is correct, then that means we've been all exposed to Cesium-137 since 325 at mid to high level range, depending on where you are across the Pacific and the United States. So this is just, to me, this is breaking news. Mike from Patriotic Space and I broke this yesterday when it was sent to me. And so now I'm just bringing it to you more in depth to show you, again, just side by side. Let me just bring this back a little bit so you can see the actual date. Whoop. Sorry guys, it's going pretty quick. There you go. 324 at 2100 hours, 324 at 2100 hours. And there's a big difference, guys. So, there you have it. Much love. Try to stay out of the precipitation. Do not get snow or rain on you. If you do, try to get it off you as quick as possible. That's my best guess as to how to protect yourself from the precipitation. As for the groundwater and the food, I fully intend to be doing tests myself and to make those public so everybody can see exactly what the levels are. And I'm going to be trying to travel all the way across the country if possible. Oh boy. So much love to you guys. Thank you for listening and hang in there.